Hello and welcome. This is an Oxford Renewables video production, and today I'm going to show you the SOLARFOCUS range of boilers from 15 kilowatts, 25 kilowatts and 35 kilowatts. This model here is the 25 kilowatt model without ash extraction. You'll be able to see down here that we are missing the ash extraction box. You can have those if you so wish. The purpose of this video is to take you around the boiler, to show you the parts of the boiler so that you're more familiar with it, and it's not a frightening thing. It's something that you live with and deal with day in, day out, so you can approach it with ease and knowledge of the parts. So the other purpose of this video is to show you how to clean the boiler and what needs to be done as part of the maintenance, the customer maintenance for the boiler. So, with no further ado, let me show you around the boiler. So, this is the front door. It's a fairing. It's to make the boiler look nice. And on this door we have the Eco Manager control unit. It's a touch screen display allowing you to look around your heating system. We're going to cover the use of this in another video, so I won't go into that now. Behind this door, this is the boiler data plate. This gives you the important information about the boiler, such as its serial number and power output. We have a panel which covers the the power board of the boiler, where all the pumps and mixers and moving parts of the boiler are connected. We have a cover plate which when I lift off you can see inside the primary air magnet, the feeder temperature sensor, the feeder, which is a motor and gearbox assembly. You can see the ignition air magnet, and you can see the cable which leads to the igniter. You can also see the intermediate store, so the internal hopper for the boiler, where it keeps its pellets. The lower door is the combustion chamber door, and is also where you clean the ash from the boiler. So there's a little peephole here which allows you to look at the flames. So I'll come back to the combustion chamber door because that's one of the essential cleaning parts of the cleaning procedure. So I'll return to that shortly. You can see in the door here we have a spare grate. I'm going to show you how to change the grate later on in the video, as that's also important. In the case that you experience an over temperature event with the boiler will ask you to press the thermostatic reset button. I'll just show you where that is. That's just here. You have to screw the black cap off, take it away to reveal a green button underneath, and you need to push that button in with a bit of stick or a biro or something like that. Right, so moving on, if I take the red lid off the boiler, we can see some important components under here. Now we've taken the red cover off the boiler, you can see under here some key components. You can see the lid of the internal hopper, which is an inverted pyramid. This is effectively the base of the pyramid that we're looking at. You can see the inspection cover so that you can delve into the internal store if ever you should need to. That's got 4 bolts holding it down. You can see the vacuum turbine which draws the pellets from the pellet store through these hoses here. This hose is the hose that the pellets come down, and the other hose is the return air back to the store. So this fin in the top of the lid is actually where the pellets enter the internal hopper, and you can see here it looks a bit like a robotic mouse. It's got a little wire tail there. That's actually the proximity sensor, which informs the boiler that the pellet store is full, and when the yellow light comes on, the boiler will stop trying to fill itself. If I take this back lid off here, we can see some more of the boiler's components. You can see an array of motors with gearboxes beneath them, and the job of these motors is to turn the turbulators inside the boiler, who have a dual job. Not only do they turbulate the flue gases, but they also scrape the heat exchangers, keep them nice and clean, so that we have continuously high combustion efficiencies due to a clean heat exchanger. We can also see the lambda sensor, which senses the amount of residual oxygen in the flue gases and is essential for the correct combustion control of the boiler. And we can also see the boiler temperature sensor and the flue gas temperature sensor. There's also a small inspection hatch through which you can see the impeller for the fan. I'll put the lids back on later, but if you follow me now to the back of the boiler, I'll just point out the last components. At the back of the boiler we have the induced draft fan, whose job it is to pull the air through the boiler and leave it standing still at the back of the boiler. That's why it's essential that you have at least 4.5 meters of straight flue on this boiler. It's very important that the fluing is correct and that you have a natural draw to take the products of combustion away. While I'm on the subject of the flue, this is the draft regulator on the flue. In times of high wind, then this will open up and maintain a steady draw at the back of the boiler, another essential part of the installation. At the back of the boiler we can see the flue gas temperature sensor in the flue there. On the PelletTop 25, the flow connection is at the bottom of the boiler. That's normal. On the 15 and the 35, it's in the more usual position, higher up, connected the boiler higher up. There's a drain cock at the bottom of the boiler to drain the boiler down. And last but not least, we have the boiler safety group, which has 3 components in it. It has a pressure gauge, it has an automatic air valve, and it has a 3-bar 95-degree over temperature and pressure release, which must be taken to drain or outside the building.